Who doesn't like a traditional Italian risotto? Well, today I'm going to show you in this video how to prepare a delicious risotto with a little twist at the end. Stay tuned for the recipe. Welcome, this is Davide, this is my kitchen, and this is my channel, Cook Italian with Davide. If you're new, remember to subscribe and enable a notification so you will be notified anytime that I am going to upload a new video, and remember to give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Risotto comes from the Italian word riso. Riso in Italian means rice, and risotto is rice cooked with broth till it reaches its creamy consistency. The broth that you use for a risotto can be a vegetable broth, can be a meat broth, and can be a fish broth. It's up to you, depends on the kind of ingredient that then you are going to add to your risotto. So what kind of rice do you need to buy to prepare your risotto? You need to buy the rice that is labeled specifically for risotto. Why? Because this rice is a short grain rice with very high volume of starch. Starch is what gives to your risotto its creamy texture. In my case, I'm going to use an Arborio rice. Arborio is the name of a little town in the north of Italy where originally this rice was grown. When cooked, the grains are firm, and because of its starchy taste, they blend very well with all the other flavors. And that's why I'm going to use this Arborio rice. The risotto I'm going to cook today is a Gorgonzola cheese, pear and walnut. These three ingredients blend together very nicely, and the result will be a creamy and delicious risotto. The main ingredients for this risotto are 5: vegetable broth, Arborio rice, Gorgonzola cheese, pears, and walnuts. So let's start. So next step is warming up your broth. Either you can prepare your broth in advance by boiling in 1 liter of water some vegetables, or you can use one of the pre-made stocks like cubes and this kind of stuff. After you have warmed up your broth, next step will be start preparing your rice. The following ingredients are for 2 portions of risotto. Start chopping the walnuts into small pieces, but not too fine, and put them aside. You will need them almost at the end of the cooking process. Half will be cooked with the other ingredients, while the other half will be sprinkled on top of our risotto as decoration. Then it's time for the shallot. It needs to be cut finely. What we want here is to build the foundation of our risotto. The finer it's chopped, the better. I tend to use shallots in risotto because they taste somewhat like a basic onion, but with a milder flavor. But if you don't find it, or if you prefer to use onions, just go for it. In this case, I'd recommend a small yellow onion. Put a large frying pan on the hob at middle-low temperature, and when it's warmed up, put the butter in it. When the butter is melted and warm enough, it will take around 3-4 minutes, add the shallots and let it all cook for about 5 minutes. You will know it's cooked when it starts having a translucent look. It's very important not to burn it at this stage. Now it's time to add the main ingredient of this recipe, the rice. It needs to toast for a few minutes. This step is important because it helps your rice to stay separated rather than clumping, and it also adds some extra flavor to the rice by caramelizing some of the starches. Again, be careful not to burn the ingredients. Let it toast just for 2-3 minutes, mixing continuously. Once toasted, add a glass of wine and let it evaporate completely. So now we have added the wine. We have to wait for the wine to be completely absorbed, so we can take advantage of this little time to blend the half pear with the skin on. Let's have a look how. For a portion for 2 people, you will need just 1 pear. Cut it in half and remove the seeds. Peel half, cut it in small pieces and put them apart. You will need them almost at the end of the cooking process. Leave the skin on the other half instead, cut it in pieces, and with the help of an immersion blender, blend it into a puree. Add a ladle of the vegetable broth to help you in the blending. Once the wine is completely evaporated, you can start adding the broth to the rice. Add only a ladle at a time and wait for it to be absorbed. When you see that there's almost no liquid left, you can add another ladle. And so on until the rice is cooked al dente. It will take about 15-20 minutes. Rice needs to still firm when beaten, so don't overcook it. About 5 to 10 minutes before the rice is completely cooked, it's the time to add the final ingredients that will complete our risotto. Gorgonzola cheese, then the pear cut into pieces, and finally the pear puree. When giving the final mix, add half of the chopped walnuts and let it all cook together for the remaining 5-10 minutes. The gorgonzola will melt, blending all the ingredients together. So now your risotto is perfectly ready, it's finished, it's perfectly cooked. So what we need to do is switch off the temperature and leave it there for like 5 minutes, but we need to add a little bit of butter, let's say 10 grams, and around 50 grams of Parmesan. You mix it and you leave it there with the fire off for around 5 minutes, just to let all the ingredients blend perfectly together. And when it's done, your risotto is ready to be eaten. So let's see you in 5 minutes. So now the moment that we've been waiting from the beginning. The final result. Here it is, our risotto with gorgonzola cheese, pears and walnut. As you can see, I've sprinkled the other half of the walnut on top of our risotto just to give a little bit of texture. And now it's the moment to try. My favorite moment. Perfectly cooked and perfectly blended together. The good things of these 3 ingredients is that altogether they constantly enhance each other's flavors. So it's a very delicate risotto, but at the same time it's also intense as a flavor. So it's really, really good. My suggestion to you is that now it's your turn to try. And once you've tried, leave a comment below to let me know your result. Bye, and till the next recipe.